Getting myself together. We're going to begin in a few. I wanted to give folks a couple of minutes to come on in. Peace, 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 peace. Thank you for joining. I am Rami Salam El, Moorish American. We're going to discuss some things today. We'll give it a second, let some people come on in, and then we're going to get started. 1 second. Here we go. Here we go. Go. All right. Yeah. Peace, peace, peace. Come on in. We're just giving people a second before we get started. It's kind of an important one, so I wanted to give folks a second. So come on in and let folks know that I'm live. If you have any questions, please drop them in the chat. If you don't feel like putting it in the chat, you don't want to be public, you can email me at iamhhtemple@gmail.com. Let me open that up. But you can email me at iamhhtemple@gmail.com. I am. Open up my little. Empress Chief Khalifa. What I can do is I will send it to that address once I'm done. And I'll also drop it in the description of the video after I'm done as well, so you can just go back to the video and just click it at your own leisure as well. Also, before I get started, let me put that. I actually wrote some notes for this because it's a very serious matter to me. This ain't nothing to laugh at. This is not nothing. This is not nothing funny or some sort of game. But I wanted to say a couple things. Bear with me one moment. There it goes. There it goes. We finna get started in a couple more minutes. Again, if you have any questions, please drop them in the chat. If you don't want to put your question public or you don't want to be known public, you can email me at iamhhtemple@gmail.com. I can answer it via there and keep it anonymous if you want to do it that way. So before I begin, I want to just wrote a little statement before we begin, just to be clear. Full disclosure, I am a Moorish American that has made several videos in the past year warning Moors and people in general regarding the actions of Jamal Latimer, Jamal Abdul Talib Mosey Bey, Rise of the Moors. That has led to Jamal and many of his members disrespecting me and my children, accusing me of being a sellout, a traitor, an FBI informant, a COINTELPRO agent. But I wanted to say that despite that, I wanted to put that out, one, for those that may not know, but also, despite that, I'm going to do my best to present the information without any bias and as respectfully and objectively as possible. So I just wanted to put that out there, and with love. Let me start right here. This issue is important to me because I am a father, um, and regardless of my personal feelings and opinions on the way Jamal and the Rise of the Moors do things, as a father, it hurt me to see him and the rest of those brothers, those people, arrested, because I know that their families are going through it. You know what I mean? And that Jamal and his wife or his fiance have a small child. And it hurts to think about anyone not being with their children for an extended period of time, especially going in prison. So I wanted to make sure that as we proceed, um, that this isn't about trying to tease or trying to mock, um, or to try to take this whole situation as some sort of game, because it's not a game. It is very serious. This is affecting many lives, not just the people that were arrested, but their families, their loved ones, their friends. Um, yeah, so I just wanted to put that out there as well. All right, so let me begin. Let me get an article real quick, and we will begin really just with a summary. For those of you who do not know, let me start real quick. Again, peace, 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 peace. I'm Rami Salam El, a Moorish American. I am going to be speaking about this Rise of the Moors, Wakefield Standoff case. I want to speak about who are the Rise of the Moors, what actually happened, and then what are some solutions and things that we can do that are helpful and productive um, for the Moors, the brothers and people that were arrested, as well as Moorish Americans and just people and the general public as a whole. Okay. Who were the Rise of the Moors? In short, they're a group of individuals who have identified themselves as citizens of Morocco or Moroccan citizens. They've also said that they're Aboriginal. They've also said that they're foreign nationals. They have a broad kind of ranging ideals. The ones I'm going to be focusing on as it relates to this situation are their beliefs or their ideals or ideology that leads them to believe they have sovereign, quote unquote, sovereign power, that the United States laws do not apply to them via jurisdiction, that they are able to take property or homes without buying them via adverse possession. They feel that they do not have to pay taxes, and they also feel that they can operate vehicles and own and carry and use guns or firearms without licenses, driver's licenses or gun licenses. So that is a bit of a background, and the leader, Jamal, the leader of the group of the Rise of the Moors group is known as Jamal Latimer or Latimer, and also as Jamal Abdullah Talib Bey. Jamal Sanders Latimer, also known as Jamal Talib Abdullah Bey. And also, just to give some context, I dropped that link in there? Yeah, I dropped the link in there. If you haven't by now, you're not aware, this is a national story. So if you search in the news section for Rise of the Moors or Jamal Latimer, that is JAMHALLATIMER, or you can search for Jamal Talib, TALIB, Abdullah, ABDULLAH, Bey, BEY, and Rise of the Moors. And there is several links to different news outlets covering this story: CBS, CNN, the local news in Massachusetts has several links, Boston News as well, CBS, I think I said CBS. So you can look into those sources. The one I'm reading from currently is masslive.com. And I wanted to also cover what happened, summarize what happened real quick. Thank you for the questions. I definitely see the questions. I'm going to get to the questions once I'm done summarizing this real quick. MOORS, well, actually, no, I'll answer that real quick. MOORS, Islamic Education Trust Bay. Are you a Muslim? Technically, I will call myself a Muslim, Moslem, but I do want to state that, just for a pause for a second right here, and clarify that so-called black people, so-called Negroes, so-called African Americans, our true and proper identity is Moors. Now, a lot of people confuse or mix the two issues of our identity and our faith or our creed or our religion, and they believe that identifying ourselves as Moors is a religious ideology or some religious belief, that we believe that we're Moors. And just want to make a clarification that we are Moors based on historical evidences in our lineage and our ancestry. Us being Muslims is our creed or our way of life, but our religion, anyone's religion is that own person's choice. So if you are a Muslim, that is because you are choosing to identify and live your life that way. So yeah, I just wanted to make the clarification that identifying as Moors isn't a religious belief. However, the person who brought the information, Noble Drew Ali, he did create what became a religious organization, which also taught us our religion. So that may be where some of the confusion lies. Okay, now summarizing what happened, and this was a few days ago, July. Let me get the exact date just to be clear. July 3rd. Okay. Well, they actually have an entry on Wikipedia. I dropped that link in. On July 3rd, 2021, a standoff occurred between armed members of the Rise of the Moors militia group and local police officers on Interstate 95 in Wakefield, Massachusetts. The standoff lasted several hours and resulted in 11 arrests. And just to be more specific, based on the video footage that I've seen, the testimony from the Rise of the Moors videos that is out there, to summarize what happened, the Rise of the Moors group claimed they were traveling on the road, Interstate 95, approximately 1:30 a.m. They pulled over on the side of the highway to refuel a car. A state trooper saw them on the side of the road, pulled up to assist them. When he got close, the state trooper claimed that he saw that they were armed, that multiple people were armed, and were in fatigues and tactical gear and clothing. The state trooper asked the Rise of the Moors group for their driver's licenses and gun licenses. The Rise of the Moors group responded that they didn't have any driver's licenses or gun licenses, and that is when the situation escalated to becoming what we now know as the Wakefield Standoff. It ended up blocking off the interstate for almost 10 hours on the holiday weekend. 11 people were arrested, as it said, and the people are Jamal Latimer, 29, Robert Rodriguez, age 21, Wilfredo Hernandez, also known as Will Musa, age 23, Alban El Karag, excuse me if I mispronounced that, age 27, Aaron Lamont Johnson, also known as Sharif Bey, age 29, Quinn Cumberlander, also known as Quinn Kabir, age 40, Lamar Dow, age 34, Conrad Pierre, age 29, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then also there was one 17-year-old age boy that isn't named. I believe it's because he's a minor. And then there's another person, to my knowledge, that is still currently refusing to give his identity or name. So he is not listed. So that is a summary of what happened and also the charges. That's what I want to read. Because this is where it got very, it's very serious. They're currently being held in custody with bail set at $100,000, which is, and from my understanding and reading, it's cash bail, so it's not 10% of the amount. And here's the charges. Just one moment here. I actually wanted to pull up the actual crime, the charges, so we can get just a good understanding of what is at hand here. Come on here. Where is the charges? One moment, my apologies. I had the link. Yeah, see, that's part of the charges here. Part of the charges, let me get the full list of charges. One moment, y'all. How I had the link this whole time until right now. My apologies. I'm not gonna waste too much more time, but just to get moving along. Among the charges for all 11 of the suspects was unlawful possession of a firearm, unlawful possession of ammunition, conspiracy to commit a crime. It was also a charge related to having body armor, and it was also a charge related to improperly storing the weapons. Shucks. I don't want to waste too much more time specifically, but if you look very closely, I'll get the link. That's what I do. I'll get the link after this live, and put that in there so you can see the complete list of charges. But I wanted to highlight specifically that the judge, because I was in the audience on the Zoom for their arraignment, and the judge was informing the different brothers that were being charged that one of the crimes holds potentially a sentence of up to 10 years in state prison. So I just wanted to make sure that we got that on the record so we understand the severity and the seriousness of what's going on. This isn't some game. This isn't anything to play with. This isn't let's pretend and try to keep this charade going. We have to be really honest and sincere about this, because this can greatly affect and shift the lives of several a lot of people, specifically the people that are being charged, but also thinking about their family, their children, their loved ones, their parents. It's young people, 21, 17 years old, to think that they may be going to prison for 10 years or more for this situation. I think now more than ever we have to be very thoughtful in how we proceed and how we act in our actions and our words. Wow, okay. So let me address Malik Bey. You should be ashamed of yourself for working with the oppressors without having to be told to. Real definition of a Slav. You sound like you're being paid by the colonizer, quoting the brothers worship Christian name. Wow. No cap. I used to respect you, but you're not right for this crap. Okay. Let me address that. I appreciate your perspective. I did my best to keep myself out of this and keep my perspective out of this, but let me express this. All of the articles that were written up, all of the videos that were made, the charges that were brought, that had nothing to do with me. I didn't tell the Rise of the Moors group to go out on the road and be armed and get into this altercation. I didn't tell any of the news journalists and writers to write articles and describe them as being possible domestic terrorists or associate them with sovereign citizen movements. I didn't do that. They got that information and they deduced that opinion and that perspective based on the actions and the words and the deeds of Jamal and the Rise of the Moors group. And it's very important. This is not a game. Whoever's watching, but especially to the people that are close to that Rise of the Moors group, now is not the time to try to deflect and place blame on other people. Now is not the time to do that. Humbly, man, I'm not doing this to try to demean or disrespect people. This is really and truly in consideration for their families. So I humbly ask you to stop with the unnecessary attacks and just listen to what I'm saying. Gotcha. Thank you. A person said in here, Gregor Williams, there are two of them that was not part of the same group. They were coming back from Florida. Word. Okay. So I spoke a bit about who the Rise of the Moors are. I also spoke about what actually happened that night, in terms of the quote unquote Wakefield standoff. We can't change what happened. They're already been arrested, and being arraigned, and charges are being brought on them. You know, so in this moment in time, the most important thing, when I was reflecting on this, the most important thing I was thinking about, what are solutions? What are the solutions that I can offer that can be done? What can be done that's productive, both for uh, the rise of the Moors group and the individuals that are in that group, as well as Moorish, true Moorish Americans? Because the other unfortunate issue is that now Moorish Americans and Moors are being associated generally with the group Rise of the Moors group and their actions. And well, I don't even want to focus on that. Let's first focus on what are some solutions that we can offer for the Rise of the Moors group and the individuals that are charged and in this situation. I think one, most importantly, if you are a Muslim or if you are a religious person, period, you believe in God, I would say to pray for all the people and the families involved. Pray that this situation, these circumstances end out in the best way possible for those brothers and their families. I do want to address this, that I saw the video today from Jamal's wife, fiance, and she was asking for Moors to show support by showing up at the courthouse on Friday. But she also stated that you should show up wearing body armor. And I just want to respectfully and humbly, I want to offer this perspective. With all due respect, I think it is very unwise to show up to the courtroom in any sort of hostile or aggressive or any way that even could be perceived as hostile or aggressive. So I think showing up in body armor is not a very wise idea. I think it will give off the wrong energy. I do not believe that there are going to be people at the courthouse waiting to shoot Moors that are coming to support. So I think, humbly, I think it is very wise at this time to move with love and not move with any sort of hostility if you are going to go there and support them. I also think it wouldn't be wise to show up in fatigues or military tactical gear or weapons of any kind. Just my humble opinion. You know what I mean? I do not think that would be the best idea. I don't think that will help their case or help their situation. You know, we are all our own people, so we have to make our own decisions. But humbly, I would advise not to do that. And also, let me say this, because I was on the Zoom call. I was on the Zoom link when they were having the arraignment trial, and I heard several people yelling out and interrupting the court proceedings. And also, if you are trying to support the Rise of the Moors, interrupting the court proceedings, yelling out curse words and yelling out objection, and this is you don't have jurisdiction, yelling out these things does not help their case. I think right now more than ever, if you are truly concerned, if you truly want to help the Rise of the Moors and those people, I think the best way you can do that is to be dignified and respectful in how you speak to people and how you interact and present yourselves. And so I think interrupting the Zoom call is actually working against the rise and the MOORS. So if you're supporting them, I will humbly advise you to not do that. Again, you know, you're your own person, so you're gonna do what you want to do, but just in terms of helping them, you know, what we can do, what you can do if you support the rise of the MOORS to help their situation. I don't think interrupting the court proceedings is being helpful or productive in any way. Um, let's see. Oh man, it's a lot of comments here. All right. Darker D Ghost. Why you scared of the troglodyte salam? Um, okay. You cowardly fears, not opinion. Okay. Um, why you why you scary more scared of the troglodyte all of a sudden? All right. Sorry, I'm trying to. If you have serious questions, if you have any sincere questions or comments, please drop them. If you just talking nonsense, please understand this is not an internet game. They're charged with. It's not a game, man. Again, if you really care about those people, if you're really here and concerned about those people, please understand this ain't a game. I'm not here doing this. This is not, ooh, are you scared? Ooh, I'm going to show I'm tough. Please stop. It's not about that. Because those people are in jail and are facing serious prison time. Mike Laurie, we must always stay in honor at all times. Agreed. So let me get back focused real quick on solutions. Again, stop being disrespectful. Be more dignified. Be more, um, refined in how you are talking and speaking. Especially if you show up there in person to the court, to the trial, um, or the hearings rather. Um, okay, yeah. So also more specifically to the ones that are locked up, to the Rise and the Moors group members that are locked up. If you're watching this and you know them and you can somehow get word to them, um, based on my humble opinion, and thankfully no one was injured in this whole ordeal, because it could have went left very quickly. They're on an interstate in the middle of the night with guns. It could have went terribly wrong. Thank Allah that nobody was hurt, no guns went off. Um, that I think is very positive. I also feel, um, listening to the judge very carefully as each person was being arraigned. In my opinion, the judge was showing a lot of patience, a lot of patience with the different people, and really doing the best that she could to help them through this situation, because it seems that some of them don't fully understand the weight and the severity of what's going on. Um, because I think that the judge could have been much more harsh during the arraignment, and it could have went extremely left during the arraignment, and been even much harder for them to get free as this trial proceeds. So I think it's very positive that the judge is being patient. I think this is my opinion. This is not any factual thing, but my opinion, my belief is, because nobody was harmed, nobody was injured, and the energy and the demeanor that the judge has currently, I think it would be very wise if the people that are locked up right now, when they come back, for their next court date to truly consider, speaking with an attorney or lawyer, whoever they need to speak to, consult, whatever you do, your legal representation, I think it would be in your best interest to just ask, speak to the judge plainly and say, listen, we were doing our best to follow the law. It's clear that there were some misunderstandings. We had no intention of harming anybody. Um, you know, um, is there a possible way that we can, plead out, no contest, some sort of thing, get 3 to 5 years of community service, sign up into a government program to study how government works and laws work, um, take a training course on the laws for owning firearms to really show, listen, we want to go about this the correct way, show every good faith effort to sincerely correct this error and to show you weren't trying to do anything malicious or you weren't trying to do anything terroristic, or you don't want to be in this sovereign citizen box where you're saying that you don't respect the laws, etc., etc. You want to go about things the right way. I feel, in my humble opinion, especially because nobody was harmed, that may be an option for you so that you guys can go home. You know what I mean? That you're not facing 10 more years in prison. That's, I'm not, and again, I'm not some expert in law. I have no idea on if any of those charges carry mandatory sentences, et cetera, et cetera. But I believe, in my humble opinion now, that trying to go about this in a combative and aggressive and hostile way towards the judge is going to not work out in your favor. I think that if you approach this in a very humble, respectful manner, and sincere manner, I think that it will greatly help, or greatly improve the chances of you coming home without any significant prison time. That's just my opinion on the situation. And then lastly, just to clarify, and this is for Moorish Americans, for true Moorish Americans, and people in the general public, to clarify the difference between true Moorish Americans who follow the teachings and the guidance of Noble Drew Ali versus other people. Noble Drew Ali informed us in several different places in what is called Moorish literature that we are indeed American citizens. I have some quotes that I wanted to read real quick. In one of his writings called A Divine Warning by the Prophet for the Nations, he says, I'm hereby calling on all true citizens to stand for a national free government and the enforcement of the Constitution to help me in my great missionary work, because I need all support from all true American citizens of the United States of America. Help me to save my people who have fallen from the constitutional laws of the government. I'm depending on your support to get them back to the constitutional fold again, that they will learn to love instead of hate and will live according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, supporting our free national Constitution of the United States of America. And he goes on throughout this Moorish literature, expressing to us, to Moors, so-called Negroes, blacks, and colors, that we are indeed American citizens, and that we should be obedient to law and follow the law, loyal to our government. He did not teach Moorish Americans, so-called blacks, Negroes, and colors, that we call ourselves Moors. He did not teach us that we are Moroccan citizens or foreign nationals. He taught us that we are Moorish Americans, that we are American citizens, that we are to obey the law, to follow the laws and obey and be loyal to government, to enforce the Constitution. So I just wanted to put some of those things on the record. Another one here was the Moorish leaders' historical message to America and the work of the temple. One moment here. It says, since the work of the Moorish Science Temple of America was largely religious, the organization has been legally changed to a religious corporation, and an affidavit to this effect has been properly filed in the Cook County Recorder's Office in Illinois. Inspired by the lofty teachings of the Quran, we have it as the revealed word of God Allah. We shall foster the principles of its teachings among our members. This is our religious privilege as American citizens under the laws of one of the greatest documents of all time, the American Constitution. So that's just another example of where Noble Drew Ali was in full support and knowledge and identified us as American citizens, had a high respect for our national Constitution, the Constitution for the United States of America. So just to clarify again, true Moorish Americans, true Moors are not anti-government. We respect the laws of the United States of America. We uphold the Constitution for the United States of America. And just to make that distinction, so there can't be any association of true Moorish Americans in the Moorish Science Temple of America with sovereign citizens, because that does not jive. So let me address some of the comments here. Oh wow. Oh my goodness. Okay. Whew. Got a whole lot of comments here, so I'm gonna do my best to address them all, at least the ones that are respectful. Oh, actually, before I get to the comments, one last thing that I was thinking about. Noble Drew Ali informed us that we shouldn't even, as true Moorish Americans, we shouldn't even be carrying a pocket knife. He also explained in a letter that we didn't need guns or weapons of any kind. That being said, I understand some individuals feel they need guns for protection. Some individuals believe they need to start a militia. If you feel this way and you feel that you absolutely must have guns or arms or weapons, and you must try to create a militia to defend yourself and your family, if that's how you feel, in my opinion, my humble opinion, I think moving forward, a more wiser way to go about conducting training or carrying your arms or guns from one place to another, I think it would be wise to, before you even start moving around, to contact the different state, city, local authorities and explain to them who you are, introduce yourself, explain that you're a militia, these are the things you're going to be doing, that you may be traveling through their state to your destination, etc., so that if anything comes up, you already have a relationship prior to the situation, and then hopefully that can de-escalate and you'll be able to communicate and be some understanding before it gets to this point. Just thinking about being proactive instead of reactive. And also, I heard some other people commenting on this, and they were saying that, they supported the rise of the Moors about them carrying guns, but that they didn't understand why they just didn't store all their guns and their tactical gear away until they got to the training facility or wherever they were going and then get dressed. or why they didn't fill up their tanks full of gas before they started their trip. Um, these are the kinds of things that in the future, if you feel you have to proceed this way, these are some things I feel like you can do to lessen the chances of there being some sort of interaction or exchange or complications with um, police or state troopers or anything like that. And I don't believe that that is infringing on your rights or not allowing you to have your freedoms. I think it's honestly just moving a little more wiser. You know what I mean? Just being a little more careful in how you're moving around. If you really truly feel you got to move like that. You know, me personally, and again, this is my personal opinion. Then I'll get to your questions. But if we weren't even operating with weapons and guns, all of those weapon charges, all of that interaction could have never escalated to that point in the first place. But I understand my position, you know, and that's my opinion. Some people don't agree about not having guns and weapons. So I respect that. And I'm not even trying to get into that. Now, let me address any questions here. Okay. Kevlar, learn the law, use that as your weapon, Moors. Wars ain't always fought with guns. Okay, I dig that. Let's see. Networking within states locally and supporting each other with outlets that aren't accessible to the Moors is part of the solution. I agree, networking is definitely helpful. OG Pooty, I appreciate this question. Why are you giving this energy when you have been disliking the rise of the Moors group for years? They family don't mess with you. You on here for the rookies. I appreciate that energy, OG Pooty. If you go back and don't just listen to what I'm saying, if you go back and watch for yourself, you will see the videos of me expressing, I really don't, I have to address it because it's personal, but you'll see me expressing videos warning that the way Jamal is moving is not a very wise thing to do. I've said it time and time again humbly, I don't think that that's the way you need to be moving. That it's dangerous, it's going to get people harmed or imprisoned, possibly killed. Don't confuse me being critical or me being critical and critiquing the actions of someone as me having hatred for someone. I don't have hatred. I don't have, I'm not being disrespectful to him and his family. But I am saying the actions that I was saying the actions that he was taking is not the best actions to take. And that I felt if he was to continue on that path, it could wind up with some people going to jail. And I expressed that hoping that he would listen if I was being sincere, because he did just have a child. And I'm a father also. But I understand that people don't want to listen, just in general, not even to me. Some people don't like necessarily listening to people. You know, sometimes people just got to do it their own way until they learn a better way to go about things. So why am I giving this energy? I'm giving this energy now, hopefully, to educate some people about the situation. Hopefully, something I've said can help them out of their situation. Hopefully, something I'm saying will prevent somebody from getting into a situation like this in the future. Because I don't want our people, any people locked up in prison. That's not what this movement is about. That's not what being Moors and being Moorish American is about. That's why I continually try to redirect people's attention to what Noble Drew Ali taught. Because the principles and the guidance that he brought us not only will help uplift us as a people, will help us connect and understand and relate and uplift all people. That's my focus. OG Pootie. Um, they're charged with Dwight Sheely. So how are you giving opinions on things when you don't know what's involved? If the Moors are who they say they are, and we are, then we should show unity. They're charged. Yeah, I didn't. I apologize that I didn't have all of the charges memorized, Dwight Sheely. But I will have a link and drop it in the description later so that you can read it for yourself. There's several articles that have detailed all of the charges that they have been charged with, but specifically the one charge I was speaking about that shows the severity of the issue is about them possibly facing 10 years of jail time for that one charge. Let's see. Dwight Sheely, and you should be on the phone with Jamal's wife to find out what she and the family needs. I don't, respectfully, I don't think that's my place to do that. Jesus, man. Malik Bey and King Solomon. He's scared. Who fez you got on? J. Edgar Hoover's son, no tassel. Again, man, humbly, I'm asking. If you don't have anything productive to say or any sincere questions to ask, you don't have to be here. This isn't a game. Stop focusing on stuff that's not important or relevant to the discussion. And for the record, having affairs on or not having affairs on doesn't determine on if I'm a Moorish American or not. So stop making it seem like you need to be in some sort of regalia and you need to have something on just so that you'll be official. That's not what this is about. James Williams. Why walk around with guns? Yeah. The truth. This isn't connected to Moorish Americans at all to me. I love y'all, but tighten up. I do think I will say this, that this situation has, I hope that it has shown us that we do need to tighten up. We do need to be more organized. We do need to be more unified in who we are and what we represent and what we stand for, so that we can very clearly distinguish ourselves as true Moorish Americans from anything other individuals and other offshoot groups may try to do themselves. So there will be no confusion on who true Moorish Americans are versus who are people that are claiming to be Moors or claiming to be Moorish American. I'll address this one. Darren L. Stop talking nonsense, man. You need to take that fez off. You're doing a disservice to the people of the land. They were just going camping like they have done a number of times before. Ask his mom. I'm not here to judge on whether they were going camping or not. That's for them to argue in court. You know what I mean? Again, this was to offer advice on how to be productive and helpful moving forward. And I think that focusing on me, my feds, trying to attack my family, or disrespect me, isn't going to help them in their situation at all. I mean, you can keep doing that, but ultimately that's not helping them. Oh man, I seen one moment here. I just seen, Jesus, it's a whole lot of comments. Okay, here we go. I'm just seeing kind of a lot of comments. The guy was just going camping. Is camping a crime? Again, he what? You're right. So it's not about the camping, but shh. Let me tell you. It's not. It is. It's not about the camping. And contrary to what some other individuals have been trying to propagate, it is indeed about the guns. At least according to the state troopers and their statements. They stated when they pulled up on the Rise of the MOORS group putting gas in their tank again at 2 in the morning, and they were in military looking fatigues and tactical gear with weapons on the side of the road in Massachusetts. The the state trooper asked for licenses for the weapons, for the guns. They didn't have them. That's why they were charged with so many so many charges related to the guns. That's, but again, I'm not the judge. It's not up to me to try to determine whether they were not camping or none of that. I'm just expressing to you, this is what happened. These are the charges. This is the evidence and the facts as it is. You can feel however you want to feel about it. Doesn't change the charges and what happened. Gotcha. And James, never mind. Oh my goodness. Yeah. And let me address that. In the game, Bay Ali, be careful calling down those MOORS. They got more publicity about the genocidal practices and unfair judicial practices still going on today. Traitor to your own if you don't see the bigger picture. I saw a few MOORS trying to make it seem like this was somehow a win for MOORS. Them being arrested was somehow a good thing because it was on national news and national headlines. Personally, this is my opinion here. I think that is a very incorrect way of thinking. One, I don't think we need publicity stunts if that's what this was. Two, I don't think those individuals going to jail, possibly to prison, possibly potentially up to 10 years or more, I don't think that is the way we're supposed to be getting our freedom or educating our people. Um, I don't think how they conducted themselves, or even specifically how they identify themselves, they didn't identify themselves as Moorish Americans. So I think it is an error to try to mask this as some sort of win in terms of publicity. And I think that we need to be more honest and humble and accept accountability and really understand that this was not a good situation at all. Let's not try to pretend and play it off like it is, because that's not going to help those individuals in jail or their families. Um, yeah, so I don't agree with that. Gotcha. Hmm. That's just any questions? Any more questions? I did see one here. The prophet said there will be a holy war. Your thoughts on that, Rami? Who's going to save you? Um, More so questions related to the situation and not more directed towards me. But personally, just to answer the question, as a Moorish American Muslim, we have a prayer that we say: Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is our protector, our guide, and our salvation. So, to answer your question, I believe and I have faith that our Creator, the one who created me and you and the universe, is going to save me and us from the quote unquote holy world war. Yeah, so, but I don't know if that really helps the situation. It's not really about the topic at hand. There's any other questions regarding the Wakefield case, rise of the Moors, or solutions for them? Um, hmm. Hmm. Man, let's get to the real. Temple Moors are far from soft. All we ask is for y'all. All we ask is for y'all to get right, cause this isn't more science, and I'm not gonna act like it is. I feel you, the truth. Kevlar, they broke the law. Learn the laws of the states you travel through. It's 2021, for God's sake. I feel you, Kevlar. Um, not not Moroccan. This is Maghrib al-Aqsa, Africa, the far west, in the Moorish Empire. That's why this is a Morocco. Um, uh, yeah. I don't really see too many other questions. So I think at least anything that's you know real or actual questions that you want answers to. How how else do you make the people aware? Unprecedented actions on behalf of the rise of the Moors. Jerobi XL. Oh my God. If you believe if you believe that getting into standoffs with state troopers, shutting down an interstate because and being charged with a host of crimes, some that are felonies, if you believe that that is the solution for Moorish Americans, Jerobi XL, if you believe that's going to make people aware or that's going to get people to say, yeah, I want to be down with the Moors because I seen them on TV and they got arrested. Yeah, I want to be down. If that's what you believe, you could believe that. I don't think that's wise at all. And that's me being polite. You know what I mean? That we gotta. Oh my goodness, man! You gotta. Again, man. As true Moors, as true Moorish Americans, we gotta hold ourselves accountable. We gotta get out of these delusions of thinking this is somehow a game. For the folks that think this is somehow some sort of win. For the folks that are trying to cheer them on and think that going about things in that manner is going to be helpful for our families and our children, man, we gotta be real with ourselves, man. That ain't it. That ain't it, man. And I'm not cowardly or I'm not afraid to be honest with the people. I know it's a lot of Moors that try to, put on this front. That's not me. I'm being real with you. That ain't gonna get us the freedom. That's not gonna help their families. That's not gonna help us as Moorish Americans. Sorry, Mo. Moors are now on the terror watch list. Anyone who thinks this is cool is low IQ. And this not what you need to uplift humanity. Come on, man. Call me chemo. Come on now. Come on now. Somebody talk about it. That's not uplifting humanity. You know what I mean? I got just to be honest with you, my mom hit me up. Some people that I don't typically text or have conversations with like that, they hit me up like, yo, man, you seen this thing about such and such? The Moors on, bro, what you think about this? It's kind of, and one of the brothers that hit me up, he says he was having talks all the time with his uncles and his and some elders, and they had this big discussion, and they brought it to his attention, this group, and what was his thoughts, and he was telling him like, I know a brother that knows about the Moors and blah blah blah. But to have the conversation start off, with people asking, like, what's up with that? That's not the position that we want to be in as true Moors, as Moorish Americans. We don't want to have to start conversations with our people where we are trying to dig ourselves out of a hole in terms of perception. We don't want to be looked at as anything connected with or associated with sovereign citizens or domestic terrorists. Because truth be told, this movement isn't about not paying taxes or not having a driver's license or taking property and not paying for it or none of the laws applying to us. That's not what this movement is about at all. In short, this movement is about uplifting fallen humanity. Noble Drew Ali went further and said that our biggest plight is economic slavery. Do we need better business opportunities for our men and women, and better homes, and to teach us to be better citizens? That's what this movement is truly about. Jesus Christ, man. Jeez. All right. Let me check my email. Just make sure nobody sent no emails to me. Cool. Come on, S. Edney. Come on, S. Edney. I really appreciate the common sense logic that I'm seeing from some people. And in particular, I've been seeing it from European people. You know what I mean? I've been checking out the videos of European brothers and sisters speaking on this situation. And a lot of them have been like, I want to support the rise of the MOORS in terms of enforcing the Constitution and Second Amendment. Yeah, all support. But why didn't they just wear regular clothes and suit up when they got to the campsite or the training site? Why didn't they fill up the gas beforehand? And it's like, fam, S. Edney said, wear regular clothes and fill up at a gas station or give notice to the Department of Transportation or whatever. Thank you, champ. But what S. Edney said, wear regular clothes and fill up at a gas station. No problems at all. We avoid these situations. And that's not even, I'm not trying to in any way suggest or promote the idea of starting a militia, because I don't agree with that at all. Again, my personal opinion, I do not agree that Moorish Americans, Moors, should be having guns and arms and weapons. I do not believe that. I think that that is not helpful in terms of getting peace. However, for the individuals that do feel that way, it's some common sense things, some decisions that we can make, or that they can make, that'll help them avoid situations, ended up in situations like this. And I think if we can't even be honest with ourselves and admit certain things like that, it's, it's like, it's not good. You know what I mean? It shows a lack of our integrity. You know what I mean? It shows a lack of our just being real. You know what I mean? Jeez. All right, man. I was, I did my best, with this. I did my best with this to be as respectful as I could. I hope that the information that I laid out, my own personal opinions and feelings aside, I hope that it was of some use, despite some of the people in the chat, man. Let me finish. Let me finish. I'm gonna answer a couple more, and then I'm gonna close out. Girth Brooks, the prophet said, if I can get you to think, you will save yourselves. I agree. Respect Roxy Bay. Thank you. I appreciate the words, man. Um, mm, you know what, man? I didn't. Let me just read this. Gregor Williams. Some of us Europeans think they were attempting to smuggle Hezbollah Florida bombers out of the country. Look at the reports. There are two I bet no one recognizes. Two were not MOORS. Um, you know, I'll reserve comment on that. I will say, if you look into the actual people that were charged, the of the 9 people that were named, Jamal Lattimore, aka Jamal Talib Abdullah Bey, that's 1. Alban El Karag, that's a possible 2. And Aaron Lamont Johnson, also known as Tarif Sharif Bey. Those are the only 3 individuals of the 9 people that are known with public names, rather, of the people charged from the rise of the Moorish group. There's only 3 people with Moorish names. So, you know, I would just take that piece of information and just think about that. Man, on the real, why not say y'all? On the real, why not say y'all Moors and just leave the prophet out of it? Yeah. Yeah. I will close out. I will close out with this, man. Actually, I'm gonna close out with something Noble Ali said. I think I've said enough personally. To be proclaimed at every meeting. I think that's a good way to close it out. This is a statement that Noble Ali put out that was supposed to be proclaimed at every meeting. I'll just read this last little piece and then I'll close up out of here. I'm glad to know that I have a few faithful Islam. I'm glad to know that I have a few faithful Moors among you all, and I desire for them to know the truth and divine truth. There is a host of jealousy about me and the movement now by the same people of our side of the nation that claim I was only a joke and unreal. But now, since they have found out from the government officials in the nations of the earth that this is the only sole foundation that all Asiatics must depend upon for their earthly salvation as American citizens, they are working every scheme they can to disqualify me so that they may take charge of the situation. It's very important. Noble Ali, over at least 7 times, I have my references here. At least 7 times, Noble Ali has referred to us Moorish Americans as American citizens. Not Moroccan citizens, not citizens of the Moroccan Empire, not foreign nationals, American citizens. True Moorish Americans, we follow the law, we obey the laws of the government. We true Moorish Americans are for peace and not destruction. Um, we are not to try to cause confusion or to overthrow the government in any way, shape, or form. And I think it's very important, as this Wakefield standoff case develops, if you are trying to get an understanding of what a actual Moorish American is, or who the Moors truly are, I humbly suggest that you study Noble Drew Ali. Um, that is the person that Moorish Americans, consider a divine prophet that was sent to so-called Negroes, blacks, and colors, and the rest of humanity, but sent specifically to so-called Negroes, blacks, and colors to teach us about our nationality and our birthrights, to teach us how to be better citizens, and to teach us to love instead of hate, and to help uplift fallen humanity. I really appreciate any and everyone that has watched this live, or whenever you watch this. Um, if you were able to take some information from this to help clarify the situation, to help understand what's going on, then I am grateful. If you have any more questions regarding this, please feel free to email me at iamhhtemple@gmail.com. That's iamhhtemple, all one word, at gmail.com. Man, I agree 1,000%, Garth Brooks. I agree 1,000%. Thank you all for watching. Man, prayers to all the families and the people involved. Please study Noble Drew Ali's teachings. Stand on the principles of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. And most importantly, man, as Moors, as true Moorish Americans, we got to move with love instead of hate. Love instead of hate. Ain't that right, Malik? Oh, you know what? We'll close out with it. We'll close out with a groove today. Kick back, man. I see you revving up. Earn your degree. We'll kick back with a groove today. We did a lot of teaching, so we're gonna kick back with a groove today. Thank you, man. Much love. Off that merge, that many ways. Need them chips, that's many lines. Oh, like judo, we flipping. Little baby, we whipping. So stand, we jibbing. Okay. True story. I made my own way in the bit like I'm Tory. I am two parts Rory, plus I mix with Nori. I am mixed with J.L.A. and gotta add some Corey, plus some T.I. and some B.I.
I've been in this video almost this entire time.
And I would never from it, but I'm tapped in with the streets. You catch me slapping Nipsey when I'm sliding through the east. I am off that Jada when I'm sliding through the bank. Off that, they get away. Eastside Johnny, that said that. Lesson with the Kashi, it be careful how you say. How you move, or you get played like a. If you want the glory, know the road is hella close. What you finna do? Oh, at least they can move. Oh, but fly with the flow. Fly with the top. Sucker seven motion. The verse is potent. No, I'm not no token. No, I'm not no token. Yeah, straight from Mogan. It's that 33 plus 44. They do the mathematics. But what they know, hey, this is not synthetic. Hey, this right here organic. I came at Atlanta. It's like another planet, but we jamming. Oh, it's that 33 plus 44. Okay. They do the mathematics. Hey, jiggle what they know. And this is not synthetic. Hey, this right here organic. I came back from Atlanta. It's like another planet, but we jamming. Oh, legendary, call me T. Tell them what they know. Wakefield dudes, Cheyenne G. Tell them what they know. White Day, Trey Coastal. Tell them what they know. GQ and Kelly. Tell them what they know. Sammy J. Caravage. Tell them what they know. 33 plus 44. The Flying. Tell them what they know. Hear my crew in the house. Tell them what they know. Oh, now they know. Oh yeah, now they know. Seven's up, man. Love.